This is Eric from SherWeb. So thanks for joining this webinar on BI and analytics. So we're about to get started now. As I mentioned before, you can submit your questions using the questions pane in the control panel, and we will have a Q&A session at the end to address any questions you have. So as we're ready to start now, so I will turn this over to Mike. So, Mike, you can take it away. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, and welcome to this SherWeb webinar on business intelligence and analytics. My name is Michael Panagis, and I'm the General Manager for BI and Analytics here at SherWeb. And I'm joined today by Eric Beauchamp, our Product Director for the BI and Analytics. Today's webinar aims at introducing a new offering that SherWeb has been working on for the better part of a year, called the SherWeb Managed BI offering. And it aims at delivering analytical reporting to specifically around small and medium-sized businesses, SMBs, and departmental users within large organizations in a way that we believe is simple, is cost-effective, and really gives them access to the analytical reporting that they probably have been looking for, but were unable to access due to a number of reasons. The agenda that will follow today will be as follows. We'd like to first look at the opportunity to better understand why we would spend time and effort in this market segment, and why it would be interesting to develop an offering and have us pursue opportunities within the market for this. And then given the opportunity, still to understand what the challenges are for SMBs around analytics. Analytics has been around for many, many years. Large organizations have been using it, have really understood the benefits of it. But in the SMB space, there's been a lot of reasons why the penetration has not been as good. And given those challenges, we'll then see how we believe our offering can help now SMBs access these types of analytical solutions in a way that potentially wasn't possible before. We'll then go specifically into the pricing and how we roll out the offering via partners like yourselves, and we'll end with a live demo to show quickly some of the reporting, and then go through a use case of and show how the tool can be used and the benefits it can bring to our customers. So looking at the opportunity around BI and analytics, although it's been a mature segment or a mature industry for a while, there's still impressive growth going on within the market. The growth in 2016, the year-over-year growth was over 24%. It's anticipated that the market size will be over $7 billion by 2021. And in terms of usage of such solutions by customers, it's estimated that over 80% of enterprises will be using some type of modern BI and analytics solutions within their organizations by 2020. So although for a mature segment, it's growing quite fast, partly because of some of the advances in the technology side, so the cloud computing and the platforms that have come out, such as Azure, the great front-end tools and visualization tools like Power BI have really reinvigorated the market. And also the interest in machine learning and AI, right, which is now talking about predictive analytics, bringing it into the mainstream and with use cases for business. So all this means that this market will continue to be strong in the future, and that we're probably going to see a lot of activity in the coming years. So what drives that, and why is that for? Any organization, small or large, typically uses operational tools to run their business around sales, marketing, accounting, customer service, and they use and they have specific functions within those tools for different areas. So for sales, looking at your sales opportunities, your revenue forecast, for accounting, your expenses, etc. What happens then is that this creates a large amount of data, and then people start looking at this and saying, hey, I want to have access to this data, and I want to start using some reports so that I can make decisions or at least understand what has happened, and then potentially make some decisions. The issue is, because of these are more operational systems. The data sources themselves are typically diverse. They're not made to be used by reporting tools very easily. It takes a lot of manual intervention, and this causes frequent errors and potentially even measuring the wrong thing. So your insights and what you get out of it are very, very limited. And so therefore, even customers today who may say, well, we're using reporting, we're doing that, we're using spreadsheets and so on, have to realize that they're potentially not getting as much as they should. Now, when you're getting into conversations with customers, the big challenge, I would say, around analytics, unlike operational tools, is that a CRM or a financial package is something that's seen as an essential tool to run someone's business. Analytics really is, in many cases, is seen as a nice to have, right? And what we have to, as consultants to our customers, make them understand that there's a couple of things. First of all, if they are doing some kind of analytical reporting today, especially if it's manual and so on, there's a cost involved, and they have to attribute that. What's happening in this case, many organizations will add the reporting responsibility to an existing role somewhere in the organization. So someone in HR who's given a tool like Power BI and say go drive reports, someone in finance, etc. So the customer thinks that they're getting reporting for free. But we need to level set the understanding of that and say, no, there is a cost, and let's talk about that. So that would be point one. When you have customers who think they are doing reporting and they're doing it for free, and why should I spend money? You need to kind of level set and take a look at how many people are being involved, what are they doing, like are they by dashboard, how much time are they spending, and what's their cost, etc. And you start having that conversation. The second point is for customers who are using analytics and maybe not properly, or customers who are not using analytics at all, is then what is the opportunity that they're leaving on the table? Either the savings around cost or the increase in sales revenue, etc. Right? So you've got to bring to the table the benefits of what analytics brings to an organization. Help sales teams around their targets, their forecasts, improve customer service, right? Better return on investment for any kind of investment by product or any kind of services that you go out there, and gets a better view of the entire organization. So this has to be, sometimes some of it is quantifiable, some of it is a little less tangible, but still a benefit nonetheless. So the education of this is happening in the market, a lot of people are using it, and this is the benefits to you, Mr. Customer, is really how to level set the introductory kind of discussions around that. And we have some solid numbers around the benefits. When you look at some of the empirical data, any company that utilizes analytics properly typically will see higher profits of 126% or revenues that are 50% higher than they would without it. Most impressive is a statistic that we really like to use, is around the average ROI, which states that for every dollar that a company puts in analytics, they will typically get $13 back on their investment. This number is so nice and so big that even if you were having a conversation with a customer and they're pushing back on it, and you say, okay, take 20% of that, let's say $2.50 per dollar, it's still impressive, right? Even if you're really going to underestimate the benefit to your organization, it's not like you $1 to $1.50, that kind of thing. It's an order of magnitude in terms of what you get back. So that's a great way, and a great way to position it for your customers. So in spite of all that and what we've seen, what has been the main challenges and the main hurdles for small and medium-sized businesses to adopt analytical solutions? Well, first and foremost, although there's been a lot of improvements and progress with tools around analytics, Power BI being a great example, it still takes a lot of technical knowledge to be able to utilize this today. So even I was talking to a customer who had asked their finance team to utilize Power BI and start building tools. And what happened is their accountants actually had to start taking a DAX programming course and learning about data architecture to utilize the tool. And that's kind of the situation that you're in. So the technical knowledge that's required, even with the advancement in the tools, is really a big blocker, especially for SMBs, where they're looking at that and saying, I don't have the skills and I don't want to invest in that readily. That's not my business. I'd rather put it in somewhere else. The second thing is it takes time, right? It's not an out-of-the-box thing in terms of when you're trying to do it. It takes a lot of organization. It is a project, right? And when you're looking at an engagement, even a small project, to be successful and to really get the most out of it, customers really have to understand that they need to initiate the engagement properly internally. They need to have a proper kickoff to really understand what they're trying to achieve, what is the objectives, and then to go into what exactly are their requirements, select the proper technology, right? So get all that set up, and then get into this iterative mode where they get from the requirements, build the proper reports, release them, have a feedback loop, and then there's always an ongoing maintenance, right? So this is a long commitment. This is a commitment to get it off the ground, and then it's an ongoing commitment as far as time and effort to maintain this. So customers have to realize that. The tools themselves don't solve that. It still takes the discipline of delivery to get the most out of your solution. Finally, with all that, and even though there's been great strides towards bringing down the price point, especially on the technology side, there's still a lot of costs involved. And that cost is typically human costs in terms of time and effort to get things up and running. So the cost is not at the point where it is accessible by everyone. When you're looking at a typical engagement, and there is a lot of cost involved. And one of the biggest examples of that is if today you go into the AppSource catalog of Microsoft, where partners like SherWeb go out and advertise their services. In the BI space, typically what we see are partners who are advertising proof of concept projects, where they will go with a customer and say it's a kind of discovery, requirements gathering, and a bit of a conceptual proof that what you're asking for can work, right? So basically there is no project going on. It's really a glorified kind of discovery phase. And we've seen some of the offerings out there being anywhere from $15,000 to $90,000 simply for a proof of concept. Okay, and that's the reality, because it takes time and effort even to build out mock reports to show to a customer. It's not an easy thing to do. So the cost is quite prohibitive in many cases, and we still haven't solved that challenge. So what have we done at SherWeb to help that, or to at least alleviate some of the issues with that? So first and foremost, let's look at what the offering is and what we're trying to do. Okay, so what we've put together is a fully managed BI solution. Okay, and what that means is that there's multiple layers in that. First and foremost, we are going to pre-build offerings around specific business functions or industries, so around sales and marketing, for example, around the transportation industry, etc. And we'll deploy this, and we'll pre-build all of the metrics and all of the assets that are needed to do reporting within that function. We will run that, and we will utilize the best tools to then get the data into our system so that we can have the best type of technology utilized, both in terms of the data import and also the utilization of the database and the infrastructure. So it's an Azure-based deployment. It uses Power BI's visualization. So we're bringing the best tools to each customer. They have their own dedicated Azure instance. So it's totally private and so on. So they get the best technology to deliver the service. And then when I said about the pre-built functions and so on, we really put a level of intellectual property over this, where we are going to do the research and the development and the discussions with the customers to deliver the best KPIs within a certain area. So not only does a customer get the ability to get their data into a data platform, get the reporting done, they also will get the best knowledge in the market of within even their own industry, where they may have some KPIs, but there may be some that they're not aware of and so on. We will do that work for them on their behalf, and they will have the benefit of looking at that. So basically, that's what we want to do. Before going into exactly the offering itself, how do we do that? Is when you look at a typical business information and analytics project, what you have is a couple of components. On the left side, you start with what we talked about before, which are the operational tools that a customer has, right? So this is what they use today and so on. Your analytical solution should be non-intrusive to this. So in other words, a customer should continue to do today and work the way they're working, no matter what the reporting functionality you bring to it. It should not be intrusive. From these systems, we then extract the data that we need. You bring it typically in a central repository. In some cases, you may want to use a tool like Power BI to go directly into it, but there's other complications for that. But typically, if you really want to do some good reporting, you bring it into a central repository where you organize the data in a way that is usable, and then you use that data into a tool such as Power BI, etc., to drive the reports that you need. So what we have done here at SherWeb is we've basically built out the components on the kind of the right side of the slide, right? So the data repository exists, the reporting and the KPIs are all there, and all we need to do with customers is two things. One is have an initial requirements phase to say, what do you want? What reports, what KPIs are you looking for? Identify what they want. This drives the data that we need. And then we do the second phase, which is, okay, this is what we need in our data repository. Where's your data? And how do we get it into our data repository? So basically, the engagement with the customer becomes simply, give us your requirements, and then let's see how we get your data in. Once that's done, thank you very much. We walk away, and then 6, 8, 9 weeks later, they've got their full-fledged system, and we can keep improving on it as they request more things. We just upgrade what they have in their reporting, and the maintenance goes on from there. So basically, the customer is faced with, or is given the opportunity to have analytical reporting without any requirement for technical skills, without any requirement of engaging in any kind of project, simply giving us their requirements, helping us understand what their data is and where it is, and we'll take it from there. And that's the bulk and the main value proposition of our offering. So, and of course, since we're leveraging all of the technology that Microsoft brings to the table with the great tools they have, especially on Power BI, you then have the customer gets the best of breed in terms of analytical reporting. They can have, through Power BI, reporting through any device. We're using the Azure infrastructure. We can then segment their users and their groups around security and access so that people will see specific reporting, specific data, and so on. Totally interactive reporting with the drill down and the filters, and we maximize the capabilities of Power BI by using a data structure that really enables it to do everything that it can. And that's all the benefits that the customer gets by utilizing the best technology out there implemented in a way that really is how the bigger enterprises do. So once again, in terms of therefore, what does the customer see, or what do we go to market to? We basically will go to market with functional and industry offerings. So today what we have available is our sales and our marketing offering has been built and is ready to go out. And we will also be open to, we will be delivering and developing other offerings around other functions and industries. Also, as an FYI, if we don't have an offering and we either run into a customer who is asking for something that is not built today, all that means is that it may take, and we agree that yes, we want to build this out, we will participate and we will do all the requirements and the build out of the solution, and then offer it to the customer in the same way that it would have been offered if it was ready. So in other words, any new offerings to a customer who wants that offering, they will not be at a disadvantage price wise. All it means is that it may take a little longer just for us to get it up and running, but at the end the benefits and the way they will buy that offering will be the same, and we don't expect a customer to fund the development work. That's part of our business model. So as an example, when we're looking at it in the metrics library that I was talking about, we've put together and we've developed today about over 300 metrics around sales that goes from all kinds of aspects on the sales side, and another 100 plus on the marketing side, and that's the way we're going to run it. So when you're having a conversation with a customer, you're now driving the conversation towards what do they want, what functional or industry area they're looking at. Drive it with metrics that have been defined, or that where we've kind of conceptualized what we want, and then suddenly you really shorten the whole engagement cycle. You zone in on what they need, and you deliver what they want in a much quicker manner. So that's a high level, that's a lot to take in, but that's basically the bulk of it. Is we have a managed service offering that will be offered to a customer in a which is a much more simple way today than is typically available. And then on the pricing side, we've also tried to simplify the whole offering in a way that makes sense for this market segment. And I'll let Eric take over from here so that he can take you through the pricing and the implementation of what we've put together. Eric?
Great, thank you, Mike. So for the pricing, as Mike explained, we keep it really simple in having basically two components of the project. So initially, you have an initial setup fee that will be quoted, and I will provide all the details about this. So this is to put in place the BI solution, and then your customers will have a fixed monthly subscription fee following this with subcomponents, which I'll also explain now. So basically, the one-time setup fee, we set up two categories. So it's either a standard or a large project. And in terms of duration, we're estimating between 4 to 6 would be standard, and 7 to 10 is a large one. So criteria such as the number of source systems, the complexity of the ETL effort as part of this project is what will be used for quoting this. And this is very different from a typical consulting where when you start, you saw the example from Mike where for 15K you have a proof of concept. Well, in this case, you have a full production ready system and the price tag is known and it will not vary and increase during the project. So this is really to simplify the approach with your customers on this. As part of the project, so you get the requirements gathering. We help you with the KPI selection for the customers, the connection to the sources included, transformation, and the training. So looking at it a little more in detail, the main phases are shown here. So we see it in 5 phases where the kickoff is about having the right people working on the project, especially with your customer to identify the proper needs at the second stage here. And one of the steps is the data discovery and quality assessment, which makes quite a difference if you compare this with self-serve BI, where data quality is often ignored. This is something that SherWeb will definitely make a difference on this step. The connection and ETL. So the main step is writing those ETL processes custom to each client, and this is where the business logic is applied and quality issues are addressed as well. And the process then goes through acceptance, so with thorough testing of the accuracy, data quality, and your customers will sign off on this, after which there's the deployment of the credentials to access the reports and training, and that's an important step as well. You want to have really good formal training to ensure maximum adoption of your reporting solution. So looking at this on a scheduled basis, so again, a standard project spanning from 4 to 6 weeks in duration. And the roles that will be working on this, so we have project manager overseeing the implementation, a BA, and I'll talk about this in just a second, a DBA infra to really do the deployment and any database adjustment, then a role for ETL programming, so again, doing the custom work, and Power BI specialist who will really speed up the process of the design and the access to the reports. Now, if we talk about the monthly subscription, so it has 3 components. One is the platform access. So this one is also a fixed price that will be quoted. And for a majority of customers, it will be this, what we see here. So it's 1 daily refresh, all data sources, 158. Now, let's say you have a customer that wants to have 8 refreshes per day, and the data size is much larger, then this will scale and we'll provide the details. But again, for a majority, it will stay on that category here. And then you have a fee per report. A report is defined as up to 15 KPIs, so it's about a screen. Although on a screen, usually the best practice is to have between 8 and 12 KPIs, but we go up to 15 for charging a report. And then you have the user fee. So how many users will be accessing those reports? And this is really passing on the Power BI license as is, which means if you have organizations that already have Power BI, there's no double charging. This fee is removed for them. So if we take 2 examples, let's say a really smaller organization that would have 5 users, 5 reports, so 75 KPIs. in that structure, it would be $358 per month. If you double up, because in many cases for BI, it will start looking more around that range here. So 10 users, 10 reports. You don't double the price. It's really scaling nicely. The platform fee is absorbed here. And this is how you see the monthly sub. And again, this is fixed. So there's no variation on consumption during the month or how many times the users will display the reports. Now, in terms of business models, so you're already familiar with the models from SherWeb. So BI and analytics will follow the same, where you can be advisor, co-branded, or white label. So majority of our partners are white label. So we'll start with this. And basically, you're doing all the customer interactions and customer-facing activities. What's specific with this product is you have the ability during the business setup, so to do this yourself or to have SherWeb do it for you. And this will actually mean that the percentage you get for the setup fee varies. So if you do that step, which is getting the specs, selecting the reports, training users, so really the business setup of it, then it's going to be 35% off the retail price that you will be charged. Whereas if you want SherWeb to do this, but under your company name, then it will be 15% off retail price. The technical setup, so the deployment, the ETLs, the designing of the reports, all of this is SherWeb under your brand. Billing is yours, and the support is done by you, and we support you. And so, again, on the setup fees, 35 or 15, and the monthly subscription, we bill you at 15% off retail price. Now, if we go to the other side of the table under advisor model, where in this case you refer a customer and SherWeb does it under the SherWeb name, in that case you get a setup fee of that, a 7% commission of the setup fee, and the monthly sub follows the same as advisor for other products, where you get 150% commission of the first month and 7% commission for every other month of the subscription. All right, so I was saying that during business setup, you can be the business analyst. In this case, what's included is that SherWeb will train you on that role and how to perform those tasks. So how to elicit customer requirements for BI and analytics, how to do the selection from the predefined library, but also to document all the custom requirements that you will gather. And we'll train you on how to train staff to use the solution. So not only accessing the reports, but giving tips on the best usage and the different roles as well. So if we take an example with these models and to see how much money you will make with this product. So we take, again, a standard project at 15K implementation. And if we go to white label, where you play the BA role, so the 35% off retail price, this means this amount of money here. And on the MRR for 10 users, as we saw, this is how much monthly revenue you would have from this product, for a total on year one of $6,200, as you can see here. Now, under advisor, it's split like this. So in this case, you're doing the 7% of the month of the setup fee, the 150% commission here, followed by the 7% commission on MRR. So for a total of $2,300 for year one. All right, so let's use these numbers now and think about a sales scenario. So when you think about your existing organizations or new ones you want to approach, what should be the criteria to offer this product? So we take the example of the smaller one, where it's 5 users, 5 reports, $358 per month. And let's say that you take that 15K setup fee and spread it on 3 years. Many customers will see it like this. Okay, what's the monthly for this as well? So you're looking at a charge of $774 per month. So for a year, it's about 9K. All right, so 9K for this minimal scenario here. So then you have to ask yourself, across your organizations, how many of them have 1 million of either operational costs or annual sales? And the reason to put it like this is the fact that if with that 1 million number here, your organizations will see that Managed BI pays for itself, and even if you set a really low expected return on investment. So let's take an example for operational. Again, the 9K here will add less than 1% to the 1 million of operational costs. Now, the expected efficiencies, we saw the stats from Mike, it's well over 1%. So this is where we say that it will pay by itself because you will meet your objectives and you will target higher than 1% for sure. Now, from a sales standpoint, same logic here. So this would require you to sell as an SMB 9K more. So it's less than 1% increase of your sales to self-pay. And again, the impact on sales with everything you'll be identifying will be much higher than 1%. So that's a rule of thumb saying that at 1 million in either of these categories will be a good indicator. If you have an SMB with 300K of sales, then it's not a solution for them, probably too expensive and the investment is not there. But 1 million is an easy number to find across your customer base. So now time for a quick demo so you can see what the product will look like. So I'll go here to my web browser and I will just, go here. Just need to sign out of this. Just a moment. Okay. Okay, so I'm in my web browser and imagine that this is your logo here. And in this example, this is an executive dashboard. So it will pull data from different sources. Either it is sales or marketing, can be customer service. So you have your NPS currently against your objectives and so on. So it will vary per company. So everyone will have a different view on this. And the idea is that you use this to get the picture across several departments. Now, let's use the use case where the CEO looks at this and the revenue year to date is behind, so about 11% behind. We're mid-year, July 15th. And so we'll start looking at these indicators to find, okay, how can we address the solution, find a corrective for this? One of the stats here is the performance by product line. So you can see your top 3 products make most of the revenue. This is normal situation. These products are doing good. So let's go into the sales pipeline to look at the opportunities. So immediately, what I want to look at are the outliers per se, to look at some of the numbers that may look different. And live scan is one of them here, where you can see it's very low. It's in my top 3 products, but the number of opportunities much lower than the other 2 here. So you can click on this to isolate this product, and you will see all the other indicators actually reflecting what's specific to this product. So again, if I unclick, I can see I have 14K opportunities total. If I click on live scan, then it's 1,600 only for this. You can see the reps who have some and so on. So this is a Power BI feature. It's really nice. But to work properly, it has to be supported by a data model that is really well done so that you get correlation between your KPIs and indicators. And this is part of the implementation we do. It comes with a data model to ensure you can get this kind of capability. All right, so I'm the CEO, still looking at this, going into sales performance this time, try to look at some outliers. And right away, I can see this curve here. It's for live scan, so I will just click here to isolate this product. I can see that the first 3 months, it was much higher cycle to sell this product. So what happened? And you can see that the lead conversion rate was lower too. So you have your discussions with your department leads, and you find out, talking with marketing, that the spend for this live scan product at the beginning of the year was much lower than it should have been. Different reasons, events made it so that you didn't invest in your marketing campaigns for live scan. So as a CEO, you say, well, okay, immediate correction is to invest again, but also I want to see this on my dashboard. I want to see the marketing spend here. And this is where the platform really shows its value, because from here, your customer would contact you, would say, okay, I need my reports updated. So you work with SherWeb, and right away we can go into the in the asset that your customer is using. And I was mentioning that there's a library. So imagine that you already have hundreds of other indicators that are connected to the database. They're just not shown right now. So you can come here and you just copy this indicator. We'll bring it to the executive dashboard, paste it here, and move it to the bottom section here, and we'll save this. And by making this change, the next time that your customer goes back and refreshes the executive dashboard, you will see the indicator now appearing. So the marketing spend is now shown, and you can see that LiveScan had lower investment at the beginning of the year. So this is the kind of example that shows you the speed of updating components, because it's a platform and because it's not, you don't have to redesign and reconnect everything every time you have a need to adjust your KPIs. Good. So from here, we would like to do a quick poll with you because part of this webinar is we're validating the product pricing and positioning. So you saw that there's a fixed one-time setup fee of 15K or 30K. You saw the monthly subscription here with the examples, let's say for a 10-user firm, about $558 per month. So now I'll do a quick poll with you so you can start a new browser window. Don't close the one that you're already using so that you can keep this this webinar going, but please open a Chrome or Edge session, and you will need to enter this as the URL. So it's pollev.com/SWBI848. So by entering this in a browser session, you will be able to see those answers here. And so the question we have for you, so when you present this type of pricing to your customers, what do you think the perception will be? How will they see this? And the four options are, they will see this as, oh, it's too expensive, they won't even consider buying it, or they will say, okay, it's expensive, but they will give some thought, they will definitely think about it. Or they will see this as it's a bargain for BI, it's a great buy for the money. Or they will feel, no, it's too low. We can, at this price, BI compared to traditional BI, which is 6 digits, the quality can be very good. So again, if you go in your browser, just answer the question and leave that session open, because I have a second question for you right after. All right, so just give a few more seconds for the results to come in. And you just have to click one of the 4 answers that you'll have in your browser to see this. All right, so leave the question up in your browser. I will now go to the next question. Next question is, when you present a solution like this, a managed BI solution, your customers may say, well, I can help myself with existing tools, you know, the self-serve BI trend. So how do you think they will react to this? So either they will say, wow, Power BI is easy, I don't need a managed BI solution. Or they could say, well, managed BI is too restrictive. I need to make sure I can get new reports when I need them, do it myself. Or they could say, it cannot deliver, this solution does deliver what I need. I don't need a team to manage my reports, so perfect, that's the match, that's what I want to use. Or they could say that managed BI sounds too good to be true. There must be hidden costs. You know, it cannot be fixed like you're showing me. So again, thanks for answering this. I see that the results are coming in. So just a few more seconds if you didn't have a chance to go. And this will help us just with your perception of this, how we can adjust, again, the messaging and pricing. So thank you for answering this. The previous question, we got all the answers we needed to. So thanks for this. Now, linking to the last question, it was about self-serve BI. So just want to highlight what are the main differentiators, again, with our solution. There's 5 of them. So the first one is the fact that with the project, we provide expert guidance to select KPIs, and that's a big thing. A lot of SMBs don't know exactly what to track, what to measure. So there's a lot of value just in that, in guiding them to make that selection. Second point is it's going to be live faster. We have this pre-built platform. So yes, we will do custom work as required, but because the database is pre-built, because the connection to the KPIs is pre-built, much faster than a self-initiative. Number 3, the accuracy, level of completeness, and also security, because again, we're using the ETL processes. Instead of going straight to the sources, we can do the transformation to ensure that you can trust the data. And in terms of security, it's the fact that we also implement the governance model with the customers, meaning that you have this role, this is what you can see. You make sure that every department, every user only has the proper access rights. Number 4, the scalability of this. As Mike shown, you can start with your sales or marketing, and maybe later on you want to add some financial or add customer service. Well, the platform is there, right? So we connect to the new sources, and it will scale up really nicely and smoothly. And the next one, the last one here, is the fact that we base this on Azure and Power BI. So the investment is really safe. Microsoft is significantly investing in those 2 products. So if customers are tempted to go with some smaller players, they may invest a lot of time and money, and in 2 years down the road, these products may be deprecated. It won't be the case with this, so it's really an investment that is safe going down the road. So this was a recap of the self-serve versus the managed BI solution. I will let Mike explain some of the specific reasons why partnering with SherWeb for this product is a great idea.
Thanks, Eric. So in summary and in conclusion, we've presented to you what we hope is an interesting offering for the market, where we think we've kind of been able to package an analytics offering that's a little different than what you see, and that could be quite attractive to our customers. Added to that is, what a customer gets in addition to the solution itself and so on is, we really have a dedicated team of an analytics team working on supporting them and supporting the platform moving forward. And we bring to the table everything that SherWeb and US partners, SherWeb partners are understand, is all of the goodness around then having kind of a one-stop shop around what SherWeb brings to the table as far as the support of the solution, the access to the technology partner Microsoft, to make sure that we have the highest quality service and solution that we can, and then all of the goodness of the whole portfolio of what we have, right? So this, basically what we are enabling is US partners can, starting today, go to your customers and now in your portfolio of offerings, have an analytical offering that you can sell from day one. And we'll support you through that, and we will make sure that you're successful. But that's what we try to bring to the table. We try to simplify the selling of the solution itself, the pricing, and try to make it really, available to a segment of the market that we think was really untapped in the past, just because of the consequences and the circumstances of where the technology and where the industry itself was. And this will continue to progress. In addition to new functional and industry areas, our roadmap will include things like prescriptive and predictive analytics, utilizing machine learning, and that leverages everything around Azure. And that's the beauty of going with a full-fledged platform like Azure, is that as that tech platform evolves and as we go and want to grow and expand the offering, we will simply leverage all of the underlying technology that is available to us and make that accessible to the customer in the same way, in a simple, very affordable manner. And so that concludes the presentation. I believe we do have some questions, and I will try to address them. I've been given some. So let me start with this one. The first question that came in was the initial statement of give us your requirements can be a tough one for customers to answer. and often requires guidance or iterations with the customer to discover what they really want. So how do we expect to address that? That is a excellent question. I've done a lot of software delivery in my past life, and you are absolutely right. The requirements phase and trying to get a customer to tell you what they want can sometimes be challenging. And that's one of the underlying benefits of that we really like about our offering, is that in addition to having things pre-built and ready to go, it really truly simplifies the engagement model. And the reason for that is if you go to a customer and it's a totally blank page and you tell them what they want, get ready to spend a lot of time of discussions trying to figure out what they want. What we're doing is we come with an end goal, a goalpost that is set, right? So we will come with an inventory of metrics and the reporting and the areas that are already set. Even when a customer comes to us with an initial, a new industry or a new function, we will come to the table, we will do our homework and come with a preset number of metrics that we will drive the discussion. And then the idea is, so we have the endpoint is there, we have the collateral, we will have collateral, and we will have all the information where we can drive the customer to quickly get to define what they want, right? And then in the engagement process that Eric talked about, where we're talking about doing the requirements gathering, we are putting together a consistent library of documentation that will be necessary to fill as we go through an engagement process. So we'll have a scoping document, we'll have a requirements document. So typically what we anticipate is we will send the customer a short document that they will fill out with the initial information that we need, have a meeting with them, drive the discussion to fill out our entire requirements document, which will then drive us to say, okay, this is where you are, Mr. Customer. You have a standard or a more complex environment. This is what it will take, and then we do it. So it's not that is the tricky part of the whole engagement. It's that it can go off the rails if you don't drive it properly and if you don't have the proper structure around it. We are building the processes and the documentation that should alleviate some of that risk. And what I would anticipate is happening is we'll get into a lot of these deliveries, and if we deliver with partners like yourselves, I would encourage that we do it together, and then we can support you and make sure that you get it. I think that we will get to a point that as you get some of these under your belt, you will have the methodology kind of understood, and I think customers will appreciate that kind of guidance. So that's what we're doing, is the way to get requirements and get the customer to tell us what they want will be driven by a process that will be supported by documentation to truly get us to the endpoint as quickly as possible. So I hope that answers that question. There was a follow-on to that question, which says, excuse me, that the customers would assume that there would be a lot of future billable hours. And that's a good question as well, right? So this relates a little bit to the last question in the poll, which says, oh, there must be some hidden costs and so on. Look, the intent here is that, and if we're dealing with customers that have requirements, they want some reporting. So our managed service, the monthly fee that they pay, entails the maintenance of it. Okay, so we will need to, and we'll tweak a little bit in terms of today we've been kind of open-ended as far as how many changes a month, what can the customer ask and so on. We'll get to describe that, but we'll probably have to determine that a little more because we don't want excess. I'm anticipating that customers won't be abusive of that, but we'll do it. But the whole idea is that customer will pay for the initial setup. They will pay for then on a monthly fee to maintain the reports that they have. That service fee will also include a certain amount of changes or additions. If they want a new report, right, based on metrics that exist today and the data is in the database, then it's a matter of we'll build up that report and all they'll get is the monthly fee for the new report, etc. And they'll have maybe some tweaks within reports. We'll have some metrics where we says you can make so many changes and so on, and then that will be included as part of your monthly service. If there's additional or excessive things that a customer will have to do, we'll deal with them one-on-one, and we can look at it. It's almost like consulting services, if you wish, but we don't anticipate that. The main thing is that we want customers to utilize the platform the way it's been developed, really take the metrics that you want out of the box and so on. If a customer has a custom requirement where they want their own metrics only for themselves, yes, that will be a separate project. We will price it, and then we'll maintain it, and that will be the one-off. So we can't price that right now. We don't know what the requirements are. But as far as the mainstream offering, if a customer uses the metrics that we've developed, if they are increasing their reports and so on, and they'll do it in a manner that is, we'll put the criteria on the acceptable, all they should see is their monthly fees should cover all that. So I hope once again that clarifies it. But the intent is to really keep great transparency and not have any hidden fees. That's not our intent, and we will explain that to the customers and be more clear as we move into engagements. Question 2, will the contents of the webinar be shared to attendees? I believe we will be sharing the deck. Is that correct, Eric?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be sending the link to download the deck, but also this recording of this session. Yeah.
Excellent. And then the other question was, is the sample demo available to partners? We can make the access to the reports that we've built, because these were live reports, accessible. The kind of use case where you saw Eric go into the Power BI tool, adding the metric and so on. Today, that's only accessible to us because it's something that only we have access to. But this is a good question. We'll try to investigate if there's a way to maybe set up a demo environment where we have a Power BI license, and maybe if you're doing that demo and you want to use that use case, you can go in there and change it. So it's not there yet, but we've taken the question at heart, and we'll look at seeing how we can make that happen, because we do see that as a very powerful way to demonstrate the benefits of what we've done. Okay, I'm trying to see if we have any other questions. Sorry about that.
That's it for now. If you have any additional ones, you can click the questions button and submit it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have any other questions, please submit it. We hope that this was interesting, and by all means, we are open for any kind of feedback and any kind of interaction that you would want. If you have customers and or area or potential activities that you think would benefit, we are here to support you. We understand that this is kind of new to us, new to our customers, and that we will need to spend a lot of time with our partners, and we are definitely available for that, and expect us to be quite responsive, and we certainly are here to make you successful. So we thank you very much for your time, and any follow-up and any follow-on questions you may have, please go through your account rep and or contact us via the email on the screen right now, and we'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
All right, thank you very much for attending, and it was a great session, and again, we're available for any follow-up questions. So thank you, Mike, and thank you everyone attending today. Have a great day.
Thank you.